Welcome back. We're currently on our stopover day here in Rua, and we've still got 7 more bonding points to use. So let's speak to Fie here. It's lovely courageous over there. Heading back to the ship, Rean? Not yet. Nah, not yet. Alright. I'm just wondering and trying to figure out what to do. I really can't think of anything. I'll probably go check in on Valimar and laze around inside. I'm exhausted after everything that went down yesterday. Me too. It's hard to get what happened to V out of my head. He might have been our enemy, but he gave his condolences for our boss's death back at the mine, so it's hard to hate him. He did, didn't he? I almost forgot. Guess it makes sense that I'm not the only one who feels down after all that. Might do me good to spend some time with Fie since we're both here. Yes, of course. Hey, mind if I hang out with you for a bit? I mean, if you think I'll be in the way, just tell me and I'll get going. Of course you won't. Stay here for as long as you like. Thanks, Fie.
It's adorable little kitty. It's got toe beans.
Huh? What's a kitten doing here?
Meow.
He doesn't look too happy. Maybe he's been separated from his mother? Not wearing a collar. So I'm guessing he's a stray. Aww. Rean? Don't worry. We've got some time before we need to head back. Let's see if we can reunite him with his mother, shall we?
Meow.
Kitten in hand, Rean and Fie started walking around the city, trying to find where the kitten's mother could be. Well, I didn't do nothing. The kitten being a stray, they assumed that finding his mother wasn't going to be an easy task, and they were completely right. Rean and Fie asked everyone they could, even Celine, and searched for the missing mother cat with every fibre of their being. In the end... Over there. Meow? Fumya. Wait, was Fumya? I have to check. I mean, Fumya is actually on Kitty Talk for Dummies, and it's a yawn. I mean, I'm going to add it to my collection of pictures ready for when I make a Kitty Talk for Dummies video, but it's just weird. Looks like we found our mother. Yep. Even without knowing what they're saying, it's obvious that they're family. Maybe if they use the Kitty Talk for Dummies, it'd be fine. Mew, mew, meow. I'm just glad we were able to reunite these two. Me too. Mother must be looking for him all this time. Nice to know his family didn't abandon him after all. Fie? Carrying him around reminded me of something that happened the day the boss died. Just before he fell in battle too. What happened? We wanted to watch the battle between him and the Red Constellation's leader, so we set up camp nearby. All of a sudden, a Jaeger wandered into our camp, a girl about my age. Another Jaeger that young? Maybe a year older than me. I don't know. She'd come from the Red Constellation's camp on the other side of the battlefield. All because she was chasing a stray cat. Hold on. She wandered into an enemy camp just before a battle. Seemed like an incredibly bad idea. What happened? No, we didn't attack her or anything. They weren't exactly in the mood to start anything with us at that point either. So the two of us just talked while she was playing with the cat. Wow. Can hardly imagine having a casual conversation with an enemy just before your leaders fight to the death. It's also kind of depressing to think that there are other Jaegers your age out there too. I guess Well, not exactly rare. But she was really strong. Strong enough to lead a whole battalion in their corps. It was like she lived to be out on the battlefield and killing. Loved fighting as much as anyone I've ever seen. She was more man-eating tiger than girl. Sounds like the two of you are total opposites. People tend to paint all Jaegers with the same brush, but the more I talk to you, the more I realize how different they all are. I wonder what she's doing now. I bet she's okay, though. She was strong enough that she'd be fine even if her family left her behind. It's another way we're different. Unlike her, as soon as my family left me, I became a weak little girl who couldn't do anything for herself. There's more to strength than just proficiency in battle, you know? And even if they weren't, I've become a much better fighter since you joined Class 7. I've definitely seen big improvements since our first battle as a class. Maybe you're right. If I am, though, because all of you have been there to support me. There's no question about that. Yeah, we all help each other improve and get stronger, both on the battlefield and off. You've helped every one of us. But we've all still got room to grow, and at this rate, we'll need to do as much growing as we can. Yeah? Well, you've got a point. But together, we'll get strong enough to get through all this. I know we will. Their conversation at an end, they watched the two cats scurry off into the distance. Your bond with Fie strengthened. That was lovely, wasn't it? Oh? Rush 2. Well, that's nice of us to plonk you back here. Plonk you? Plonk, plonk, plonk me. Plonk, plonk? Plonk, 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 plonk. Let's see here. Let's go up to the repair shop and speak to Sara. Oh, hello. So the question is, where's Toddy? But anyway, Jackass is doing some maintenance on my orbital gun for me. With a name like that, I wasn't sure what to expect when Elisa introduced me to him. But he seems like he really knows his stuff. I just wish he had a bit more of a refined, dandyish aura about him, sort of like Gwyn. Then it'd be more my type. Inside of your head must be a terrifying place to live. You have no idea, Rean. All kidding aside, though, you should take this chance to make sure all your gear is in good shape. There's no telling when you'll need to put it through some hard use, and it always pays to be prepared. Maybe I should take this chance to have a look around here too. Yep. Say, would you mind if I hung around here with you until your maintenance is finished up? Now that I look around, there seem to be a lot of things here worth checking out. You can if you want. But I think what you really need is something else. What do you mean by that? Get your sword ready. As soon as he's finished with my gun, there's somewhere I want to take you. Today you die, Rean. As it turned out, that somewhere ended up being the North Shore Highway. Alrighty. I don't think anyone's gonna come barging in and disturbing us all the way out here. Yeah, I doubt it, but why did you bring me here in the first place? You told me not to forget my sword, so I'm guessing it's not a date. Pshaw. You've never been on a Sara date. Anyway, hope you're ready to get all hot and heavy with me, as we pour ourselves into no-holds-barred combat training. Are you kidding me? And this time, I'm not gonna hold anything back, so you'd better be ready. If you want to fight me like your life depends on it. Because you can leave this little excursion one of two ways. Walking with your head held high, or on a stretcher. I don't know what brought this on, but I can see this isn't one of your usual gags. In that case, I accept your challenge. You'll get only my best today. So began their intense battle. True to her word, Sara came at Rean with all the fury of a raging storm. Despite bringing the best of her skill to bear, he was just barely able to withstand her assaults. Ugh, how are you so strong? So this is what it's like when you're not pulling your punches, huh? Damn straight. The world's not a nice place. It's not a fair place. But I fought tooth and nail for my place in it anyway. The world takes from you too. I almost lost count of how many irreplaceable things it's taken from me. So many friends. Allies. I don't even have a homeland to call my own now. Instructor? But I did whatever I had to do to keep on living no matter what. And I stand before you now as the sum of all those ugly, painful experiences. Life will knock you down over and over again, but if you rise just one more time, that makes you the victor. That's something I've kept on believing, and seeing you students give it your all has only strengthened that belief. That's why I've decided that everything life has taught me in the School of Hard Knocks, I'm going to teach to you. Not through words or lessons or fancy platitudes, but through battle. I'm ready to learn. You might have gotten the better of me before, but I'm ready for round 2 anytime. Attaboy. Let's not waste time chit-chatting then. You ready? They resumed their battle, and the intense training continued. Rean focused everything on the fight, fending off Instructor Sara's onslaught as best he could. And after a long, difficult fight... Looks like neither of us has the energy to go another round. Guess we'll have to call this one a draw. At the very least, I'd say we got into some good training. Well fought, Rean. It's kind of scary how strong you are, though. That's all I could do to keep you at bay. Didn't even get a proper hit on you in the end. You could have, though. What you would have had to do is fire up that power of yours. And you should have, since, you know, I specifically told you to fight like your life depended on it. But... just messing with you. That consideration you always show for others is part of what makes you strong. I know you're still beating yourself up over what happened yesterday, and that's totally understandable. But at the end of the day, you've got to get past it and move on. No one can do that for you. But you will, though. I have no doubt about that. So, just keep your chin up, and your gaze forward, I guess. Thanks, Instructor. I'll try, at least. A lot of people are counting on me, and I don't want to let them down. The two stayed and rested for a while to get their strength back, and once they felt better, they walked together back to Rua. Lovely! Rush 2. Right, so, who is up next? Let's go to like the RF store and see about speaking to Laura here. Where is she? Well, there's Hugo over there. It's my first time seeing Rua. I must admit, I'm very impressed. My expectations were high given the Rhineford Company's presence here, but I can safely say they've been shattered. I think this single shop alone has more types of orbal goods than the entirety of Legram. Feel kind of like a child in a candy store, to be honest. There's so much I want to look at while I'm here. I could go for some window shopping. Mind if we look around together? Nothing like shelves full of stuff to take your mind off things. By all means. Let's see what this place has to offer. Oh, coffins. Huh. This is an orbital refrigerator. Oh. I noticed there was a large one in the Courageous' kitchen. I wasn't entirely sure what it was at the time. Oh, now that you mention it, we do have one aboard, don't we? Being able to just stick food in there and have it stay fresh for days is pretty awesome. So it is. I wouldn't mind having one for myself for when I want to prepare a boxed lunch. How much does one cost? Maybe I'll consider one when my skill in cooking improves enough to justify the expenditure. Let's go look at something else. Right. She actually seems pretty disappointed she can't get one. What's this? The design is rather avant-garde. It says here that it's called orbital vacuum cleaner. You press the button on it and it'll suck up dust and crumbs. Looks like the orbital version of a broom, I guess? That does sound pretty convenient. I'd like to give it a try. Let's see. Still looks like a grenade launcher. It's the little things around it. Especially. It's like you put them in, you fire them out. The top. It's a grenade launcher. Or a mortar or something like that. You can easily see where I'm getting that impression from. Easily. Laura carefully pressed the button on the vacuum cleaner. I don't think you're supposed to just turn on appliances in the store like that. But sorry, I guess curiosity just got the better of me. Suppose I should turn it off then. Is this the button you press to do that? Why is it vibrating even louder and more forcefully? Excuse me, miss. Oh, well, he certainly seemed none too pleased with us. I'm sorry, Rean. Don't worry about it. It's not often I see you get into trouble like that. Guess technology isn't your forte, huh? No, it is not my la forte. Apparently not. I mean, I have an interest in it, but very little experience actually using it. I think I'd be able to use all the appliances here if I had the chance to learn, though. Just like I did with our combat augments. By the way, what are these? They're, orbital washing machines, by the look of it. You put your clothes in there and it'll wash them for you. Lisa had a few in her house from what I remember. Wow. Sure sounds convenient. Fascinating. Wonder how it works. Let me see. Not again. My apologies. Which of these buttons turns it off? This one? No, maybe this one? Please tell me you haven't done what I think you've done. I'm afraid it appears I've broken it. Excuse me, miss. Fortunately for Laura and Rean, the damage was much less severe than it looked, and they were able to repair the orbital washing machine. The employee was understandably furious, but thanks to their connections with Elisa, he was kind enough to overlook what happened. It was on fire. Why are they still in the shop? I'd have kicked them out. I can't believe I made such a blunder, not just once, but twice. Well, at least they were able to fix it, right? All's well that ends well, I guess. Still, it really does feel like you were, born into the way of the sword. You don't need to make my lack of domestic skills sound like some kind of winning quality. I'm all too aware of the areas where I come up short. I took up cooking in an effort to become more refined, but wasn't planning to admit that here. Still, I'm glad I got the chance to see a side of you no one else has really gotten to see. And hey, no one's good at everything. We've all got our weak spots. Well, that's true, but you and I aren't so different in that regard, you know? None of us have roles we're good at fulfilling. And for those we aren't, we need to learn to rely on others. I want you to promise me you won't try to shoulder everything yourself. All of us here are with you to share the burden. Huh. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Laura. Your bond with Laura strengthened. So close! So damn close. Would have been lovely as well. There's not like books around I can buy that can get it up by a little. Is there? I know there was in the previous game. Right, so... Elliot, my boy. I can't stop thinking about our field study here from earlier in the year. Sure, it was tough, but it was fun. And V was still alive. Yeah. Even if we did think he died back at the mine. Guessing news of V's actual death has probably reached Crow by now. I wonder how he's taking it. Sorry. It's probably super insensitive of me to bring him up. Just try and cheer up, okay? Elliot's definitely worried about me. Maybe we should hang out for a while. Yes, of course. I just got a great idea for something we can do together. Come with me, Rean. What's going on now? You'll find out soon enough. Let's go. Elliot dragged Rean into the Rhineford building. And after he borrowed a few things, Elliot dragged him right back out again. You brought all that out? Alright. It sort of looks like the same kind of orbital guitar I used back at the festival. And that's because it is. Both that and the keyboard were made by the Rean company. They're display models, but they said we could use them since playing them right out here would make for good advertising. Should be all tuned up now. I've already got permission too, so shall we get started? Get started? Wait, you don't mean... I sure do. Let's play some music. Just you and me, putting on a concert in the middle of the street. Despite the sudden start, the two played with gusto, their focus entirely on both their instruments and the performance. A surprising number of Rua's residents had stopped to listen and clap for them too. All in all, it was a success. Phew, that was something. Impressive work, Rean. We were out of sync in a few spots and we missed a note or two here and there. But it was fun, wasn't it? It was for me, at least. Yeah, it was fun. This goes to show that music doesn't stop at giving strength to the listeners. The performers get some too, I guess. I was every bit as happy there as I was when we performed at the festival. I'm a little bit biased, but I'd say playing yourself is even more fun than listening, to be honest. That's probably one of the reasons I just can't seem to give up music. Thank you for inviting me to join you, Elliot. It's definitely helped me to cheer me up. You're very welcome. We'll have to do this again sometime if we can. With some time to practice, hopefully. Not just us either, the whole class, just like back at the festival. Sounds great. Hope we get another chance to do something like that. Their street concert complete, Rean and Elliot went back to Rhineford HQ to return their instruments with smiles of elation on their faces. The bond of Elliot strengthened. Just that little bit. Just that little bit. Right, who's up next? Let's see about... We'll go into the weapon shop and then come out. I was going to see about a mango. There he is. I'll be taking a look around the Roa Institute of Technology soon. It's practically the premier technical university in the country. So I think any time I spend there will be to my benefit. I would imagine so. We did go inside during our field study, but that was just for Professor Smith's request, so we didn't explore much. Still, it's very you to make a break for the nearest school when we finally get a little time to rest. Well, if there's something I can only see while we're here, why wouldn't I? Maybe you should do the same. No better way to lift your spirits than to get your mind off what's getting them down. I'll keep that in mind, thanks. Maybe he's right. Checking out the institute probably would cheer me up. Yes! Yeah, I think you're onto something here. Would it be okay if I tagged along? Of course. I was kind of hoping you would. Shall we? We shall. Whoa! What was that? Sorry about that, guys. Hey, I recognize you two. You guys came here for a field study one time with your other classmates, right? Hit that nail on the head, but mind explaining what those two tiny cars are? Actually, I think I remember seeing them during our field study too. These babies? They're a new kind of toy that we're developing. We're calling them orbital remote-controlled cars. They're basically little cars that run on orbital power that you can drive around with these radio frequency control devices. Do you have a crossbell bus? Because I'd buy one. With things settling down here in Rua, we're off to test our new and improved ones all around town. That's some impressive technology. You've replicated the look of the rifle company's Luxair line of vehicles very well, too. Oh, do you recognize them, Mango? With a number of cars on the roads in Heimdall, you start to recognize different models after a while. I eventually decided to start doing some research into what each one had to offer. The Lux series was one of the ones that I found myself particularly fond of, so its name stuck in my mind. No, there's a man with taste. If you can appreciate the beauty of these little babies, you're gonna go far in life. Actually, just the kind of guy we'd like to give these thing a little test run. Are you serious? As serious as we've ever been. We want as many people playing with these things as possible, right? Actually, it'd be great if you could grab another friend too. 3 people racing against each other wouldn't just be awesome, but would also provide us with some valuable data. Well, in that case, I'd be happy to play with your cars for you. And I already know who our third will be, though I'd hardly call him a friend. Wait, you're not thinking of... Yep, he was. Of all the things you could summon me out of the blue for, a toy car race? Still, it's not as though I have anything better to do. I accept your challenge. Huh, smile while you still can. I expect you to give this your all too, Rean. Okay, if you insist. Well, now that you know the controls, the course will take you from here, around the front of the RF building, and to the top of the steps over near F. Or EF. You're going to have to chase after your cars though, since the orbital waves have a limited range. Well then, shall we get started? Take your positions. Ready, set, go! Their cars left the starting line, and the race of the century began. The 3 of them chased furiously after their cars, struggling to adjust to the unfamiliar controls. And as they finally neared the finish line, Eustace and Mango hit their competitive peak, each one desperate to claim victory. Get the hell out of my way! Kneel before me, fool. Guys, calm down a bit, or you're gonna... Oh! What? Impossible! We have our winner. In first place, Rean Schwarzer. Seriously? It was a neck-and-neck race, but once they crashed their cars, Eustace and Mango didn't stand a chance. Looks like you got a bit carried away at the wheel there, fellas. That was careless of me. This is completely ridiculous. We got some fantastic data thanks to you 3. We'll have to get this back to the lab and start brainstorming improvements right away. Great work, you guys. Thanks. The race complete, Eustace went back to whatever he was doing, and the researchers skipped off gleefully to their institute. Phew, didn't expect that would end up being such a big thing. I'm a little frustrated that I didn't manage to come in first. But if the whole thing cheered you up, I'd say it was well worth doing. Thanks, Mango. That means a lot. No need to make a big deal out of it. On a more pragmatic note, can't see something like toy cars become very successful during wartime. Just another reason for us to fight for peace, I suppose. Yeah, that's a fight I'm sure we'll win. Besides, if these things ever make it to market, we can have another race. Sounds good to me. Next time, I'm taking Eustace down. Your bond with Mango strengthened. There we go. Fantastic. Right, let's get one more in with Alfin. Assuming we can find her very easily. Like, where actually is she then? Just wondering who's around in here ready for when we do the rounds. Is that the same guy who was buying the airship before? Like, what's happened now? It could be developments there, who knows? It's the employee elevator. Seriously, where's number 6? What is floor 6? Why? I don't know why I don't. Yeah, like, there we go. That's Elisa. We'll leave Elisa for the next part, but Alfin? Hello. Last night I received an invitation to stay here. There's still some time until we have to leave, so I think I'll spend some quality time curled up with the books instead. They're shiny over there. Sharon's coffee. Can't be beaten either. In fact, pulling myself away from here may prove to be a real struggle. Maybe I should join her for a while. Seems like she could use some company. Nah. There's a copy of a magazine called Cars Monthly here. I think it's some sort of automotive magazine published abroad. They've got a whole section here just dedicated to car paint colours. This one could actually be kind of cool. Oh. That's cool. Anyway. Right, yes. Yes. Mind if I stick around a little longer? Not at all. We don't get many chances to spend time together like this. Let's make the most of it. Oh dear. I've made a terrible mistake. Rean could never say no to some of Sharon's coffee. In fact, asked her to make another pot for them. With that, he and Princess Alfin spent some time pursuing the countless books gathered in the library. This coffee has a really nice aroma to it. Stop lying to yourself, Rean. Doesn't it? Sitting back and enjoying a cup of Sharon's coffee, engrossed in a book, I think I've found the very definition of bliss. Try a cup of tea. Then we'll see. Well, I can see where you're coming from. It never ceases to amaze me how many books there are in here, or even the variety of topics and genres represented. I guess Gwyn has always had a pretty broad range of interests, though, so it makes sense that his library would be as diverse. Indeed, that only makes it more difficult to decide which volume to read next. Though I must admit, I was a little disappointed to find one particular genre unrepresented here. Oh? Which one? The titillating tales loved by fair ladies across the empire. Stories about the lives and loves of handsome gentlemen. Books that warm the hearts of all who will alter their prose. Oh, those books. I remember you saying those were pretty popular in Australia too, right? The Courageous was lacking in that genre too, until Dorothy came and seeded it with some volumes from her own collection. So, does Elise, have any interest in those kind of books? It's so much more magical to just leave the truth of things to your imagination. We're talking about a realm created by and for pure-hearted maidens, after all. It's not a place where gentlemen should tread lightly. Fair enough. I'm curious, but not that curious. Try to at least regulate your corrupting influence, though. That'd be great. If that's truly what you wish, I suppose I ought to respect your wishes. But teasing her is my most cherished pastime, so I'd really prefer to keep at it. I wonder if she realized her struggles are mainly just for entertainment. Still, teasing or not, I'm glad Elise has at least one close friend she can depend on. Oh, and speaking of entertaining pastimes, I actually learned a delightful little card game called Blade from Sharon yesterday. Perhaps we could play a few rounds together? That sounds fun. I accept your challenge. Do I get to play it, please? Rean got the cards and began what seemed like it would be a few quick, friendly games of Blade. As they played, things unexpectedly ended up getting fairly heated, with each of them determined to come out on top while holding nothing back. In the end, the time they spent playing together was as enjoyable as the time they had spent reading. Oh, I would have loved to have played it. Like there's several bonding things in this that I'm like, you could have had a mini-game there, that would have been awesome. This really is quite an amusing little game. It's nice that even an inexperienced player like me doesn't start at too great of a disadvantage. Yeah, the updated version has a lot more strategy to it, though. But I have a lot of fond memories of this version of the game. I almost can't help but like it. In fact, Crow is the one who gave me my very first deck of Blade cards. Oh, really? It was sad to see the two of you fighting each other, especially after all you've been through together. What is it that forced the two of you to fight like this? Well, ultimately I think it's a battle of wills. Both of us are too stubborn to just give up and walk away. What do you mean? Rean told Princess Alfin about everything that happened between him and Crow. As he went on dredging up the memories from what seemed like a lifetime ago, went through a whole spectrum of emotions. Yet through it all, she had quietly and considerately listened, then he finished telling her all that there was to tell. You could think of it as a high-stakes game of Blade. Her on one side and me on the other. None of us are willing to compromise on the things that make us who we are. Our beliefs, our pasts, our friends. Without compromise, all that's left to us is to meet each other head on and see who comes out on top. Just hope that while we're doing that, we'll discover where life will lead us, and what to do with ourselves after this is over. I see. Boys will be boys, I suppose. But hearing you describe it, I must envy Crow's position. Huh? Why's that? Oh, I just meant Elise would probably think that if she were here now, envying Crow, I mean. After all, it's almost like fate is pushing you and Crow together. Fills my imagination with thoughts. Just a word to the wise. Guys aren't too hot about being paired up with their male friends when they don't lean that way. Well, like it or not, I consider myself someone fully invested in this little battle of wills now. So I intend to stay with you and see how it all pans out. You're more than welcome to come along for the ride, Your Highness, wherever it may take us. Awesome. Cheer, cover. Right, so we're going to end this part here now then. And in the next part, we've got one more bonding event, and we'll be seeing it here with Elisa. So we'll see you then. Ta-ta for now.